shelf board right here across the top. From corner to corner, I'm going to turn this sideways so I can have more room on my table to work on later. Around my thumb won't grip on it. And then to weigh it down, I'm just going to use whatever I can find. Just get a couple power tools. Make sure whatever board you use doesn't have anything sticky to it on one side. This one actually got a little bit of motor to it, so I'll flip it over. There we go. There's one layer of Arex and fiberglass. One panel, I should say. Leave this for a few hours to cure. Probably tomorrow, this time tomorrow. And then we can pull it out. And check for vacuum leaks, of course. Those are never fun to track down. Alright, now that my hands are all clean, that's done. I got a bit of a refreshment. Let's go on and show you guys the work from the past couple of days. Alright, you can see this one roll of glass is pretty much almost gone. That was 100 yards when I started. Granted, about 15 of that went towards Hortons. But have no fear, there's another roll back there. Alright. Carbon box spar plug is right here. You can see I've got fuel ply, it's glassed. I haven't done anything to the top yet. I'll do that here in a moment. So you can see it's shaped just like the top of the fuselage. It's that's 3/8 balsa thick right now. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be balsa, I promise. Once that's molded, or once that is cured, and I get all the paint and all that on it, fill up all the pinholes, and get everything going, I will add the top parting planes. I'll mold that whole thing, 2-part mold. It'll be split down the center of it widthwise. That way it's easier to pop it out of the 2 mold halves. But I'll mold that, and then it's going to be a combination of carbon fiber and 3mm Arex. Since I'm replacing a lot of carbon fiber with the Arex core, because Arex is still really strong and it has a lot of compressive strength. So on these areas out here where it's trying to bend this portion up, all that compressive strength is going to come into handy for that. So instead of being a 1/4 inch of solid carbon fiber and probably 3 pounds, it's now going to be a little over a 1/4 inch, but it's going to be carbon fiber and Arex, and it's only going to be 3/4 pound to 1.5 pounds, depending on how many layers of carbon I decide. But once that's all done, it'll be Arex on the front face, Arex on the bottom, 2 layers of 3mm. It'll be carbon, Arex, carbon, Arex, carbon. And then out here at the tip, it's going to be carbon, really thick piece of plywood, probably 3/8 inch thick, more carbon. And the reason for the plywood out here is for your bonded fasteners are going to go in there, and that's actually what that aluminum U-bracket is going to bolt to. It's going to go right up to that, and there's going to be another one right over there. So this whole box with the bottom will be enclosed with carbon fiber as well, and then the whole top of the fuselage with glass, carbon glass, Aerex, carbon, more glass. So it's gonna be this whole thing is gonna be basically a four-sided box with aluminum brackets bolted to the end of it. The only way that's gonna break is if you crash the thing. I'm telling you, that box is gonna be a little on the heavier side compared to just plywood with a couple of pieces of aluminum bolted to it, but you're not gonna be relying on 8 bolts and that plywood, that chintzy 1/4 inch plywood that they use. That whole thing is gonna be integrated into the structure, the top skin of the fuselage, to where that thing's gonna be like a tank. It's gonna be like the real airplane. If you crash it, that whole box bar assembly is gonna be, you could reuse it if you wanted to, if you're crazy enough. Anyway, that's the whole center box bar plug that I've been talking about for, God, years now. That everybody's kind of been like, huh? What do you mean? Center box spar, carry through spar, whatever I called it. That's it right there. Just carbon fiber instead of balsa wood. All right, fuselage. See, I got all the molds bolted back together. Down here, I've got the inlets. I've never really liked how I molded these things to where it's a pain in the butt to do this. And when I was doing all the parting planes for down here at the bottom seam, I got lazy. Yeah, I'm admitting it. I got lazy. And instead of taking the parting plane and then making one at a straight face, I did this weird little thing where there's a little indentation in here, and this indentation makes it a pain to get out because of that little button right there. Because of the indentation, which is on both sides, you can't take this one off, but you can't take the middle out because of the button plug. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm going to remove this button plug. I'm going to redo these. I'm going to repair these now that the vacuum pump shut off, or shut up, however you want to look at it. But I've got the parts that broke off here. I'm going to reattach them with some epoxy, get rid of this button plug, and this whole thing will slide out. But all of these, I sat there and I did the layup on them, and the bags I had for them had really bad leaks on it, and I had the fuselage, the bottom center section of that fuselage in a bag as well. I just tried to do too much at once. If I would have used new bags for these parts, I've been fine. But I was like, well, once I had issues with that, I decided to forget it. I'll redo them. It's only a couple bucks in core material and fiberglass and epoxy. So I'll redo those, and I'm gonna fix the molds and get all that stuff done. We'll be good to go. Fuselage layup. I know you guys aren't gonna be able to see a whole lot in here, but you can see some. I mean, it's Aerex. It's Aerex everywhere. 2 layers of carbon here for the nose gear door. Then where the bulkhead mounts, you can see it right there at my finger. It's really dark up there. There's actually 2 layers there, but there's 4 layers in here because it overlaps the nose gear area carbon. And then back there you can see the carbon on the top of the fuselage for that box bar. And then it's just regular, just a couple layers of glass right here for the lip for the canopy. And then of course no Aerex over here where the gun turret is. The reason I didn't put the Aerex in here on this fairing is that way if someone ever decides they want to make a detail kit or whatever, where they can make this panel open up and you can actually see the Vulcan cannon in there, you can do that. So I'm leaving stuff up. As you can see, I'm putting a lot of thought into future scale details with this airplane. Once it's up and flying, it's not going to be over. I've got a whole lot of armament I'm going to make for this thing. I mean a whole lot, and by a whole lot I mean pretty much everything the real one carried, I'm going to do for this at some point. Alright, working back along here, you can see I already got fabric, peel ply, and all that stuff cut out for that other panel. Back here in the opening, whole lot of carbon fiber, more carbon fiber, more carbon fiber, more carbon fiber. You're probably wondering what's carbon fiber doing running the length of it. Originally I had planned to do the center section of these outer portions all as one, but it's just too much surface area and too much time to do it. So I did them separately. This is the little carbon toe method. It's 3 layers of 12K carbon toe on this side and another 3 layers on this side. Bolt the halves together, bolt the whole top together, that way they get squished together perfectly like they would be in the actual part. And then right before I bolted these top pieces on, I took that roller you guys, that really small paint roller I showed you guys earlier, and I just rolled it flat onto the surface, the inner surface. So it ends up being, I don't know, about a 1/4, 3/8 of an inch wide carbon fiber strip along the seam line. So it's super strong. And again, a whole lot of carbon fiber here, more down through here on the landing gear. And the carbon fiber stops right there. And this is where the landing gear bulkhead will actually be about right here or so. So that landing gear bulkhead goes straight across. And your turbines, your access to your turbine is going to be right here as well. It's going to be a tight fit. Actually, some of this area can get cut out once I actually pull it out of the mold. So your turbine will either be sitting about right here, and then you'll have that one bulkhead going straight across. And no, it's going to be a one-piece bulkhead all the way across. Same for that box spar, sits about right here. And then there's 2 bulkheads that support it, that connect the bottom of this box bar to this bottom skin. And if you're paying any attention, you notice the carbon fiber is a little too far forward. I messed up putting the dimensions down. So what I'll do is right before I get ready to put those lower bulkheads in this box bar, and I'm actually going to put another layer of carbon fiber over it. I really don't think that carbon fiber is necessary, and I really don't think the aft portion is going to be necessary. But I'm still going to put it in there just for a little bit of extra peace of mind. So there's that. That's really about all I've got to say, guys. I mean, I'm sorry if some of you guys don't really like the videos because they're lame. I'm getting kind of tired of waking up to comments from people saying, "Oh, be more like Bob, tell us everything, or do more videos of this, or whatever." I'm like, Bob does his way, I'm doing my way. If you don't like the videos, nobody's forcing you to watch them. Right? Like I said in the previous one, I'm not doing a whole lot of to-do videos right now because, I mean, really, Bob's done this stuff so much. If you want to see somebody swapping an epoxy around or talking about, I don't know, whatever, go watch a Bob video. I'll show you building the Tomcat when there's actually something important like this stuff or whatever. I mean, this, or I should say this, is the same as this, other than cutting materials and just cutting materials. I mean, when you cut this stuff out, thanks to all those templates, when you cut it out, that's the hardest part. I mean, everything else in here is just a matter of, let's put some epoxy down, let's throw some cloth, let's put some core material in, let's put some more epoxy, more cloth, let's throw it in the vacuum bag. Man, how many times can you see that before you're bored with it? I mean, I get bored with it doing it. No offense to Bob or anything, Bob's videos are awesome, especially that big F-18. I love the big yellow F-18. Bob, if you want some rubber tires to that thing, let me know. I got molds. I'll pop you a set out. So, anyways, fuselage is done, molded. Let's say molded, not done. So, once I get internal bulkheads, you know what? I'll do y'all one better. When I go to my buddy Chris's house to cut out the templates or the test set of bulkheads, which is just going to be some cheap plywood. They're not going to be usable, I swear. I'm not going to use cheap plywood. Only aircraft grade stuff. But when I go over there to cut out the bulkheads, I'll pop the video camera in for you guys, and I'll show you the whole, well, if they'll let me, I'll show you the whole process of CNC cutting a set of wood parts for this monster. And the cool thing about Chris's shop, he's doing the same thing. No, he's not doing an F-14, he's doing an A-10. It's not a MIBO sized A-10, but it's an A-10, and honestly, it looks better than a MIBO. The detail on his A-10 is phenomenal. This is his second version. For those of you guys who know him, it's CGRC Jets, and the plug for this thing is awesome. If you guys have seen videos, he's the one who's going to be cutting my parts for this. I'm going to do some layups on the A-10 for him in exchange for him cutting parts. Plan is to have this thing, the plug, or the fuselage, and an entire airframe, hopefully for Florida Jets of 2014, and his A-10 flying for 2014. I've got all the stuff we need to do a power system in his A-10. So busy winter for the two of us. I got to get this thing done, which is getting really, well, closer to done. Gotta get closer to done. We gotta get his A-10 done, or at least at the same point as this, where we can have airframes there and kind of show them off and get the hype going, as people put it. Anyway, it's God, it's already 5 o'clock on a Thursday. You ladies and gentlemen have a great afternoon. If I get more bleeder material, I'm going to do some layups. I'm going to do new horizontal stabs using a thinner material instead of 3mm stuff. Mine are too heavy. I don't really like them. They're god-awful strong, but they're too heavy. So I might do stab layups. If I do that, I'll show you guys the process again, I promise. Unless, of course, I don't. All right, y'all have a good one. We'll see you back here in the shop.